Hi guys, welcome to another video. This time we will be solving another problem of the Tenere 700, and that would be the throttle jerkiness. So if you have a Tenere 700, or if you're looking to buy a Tenere 700, you've probably experienced or read that the throttle is jerky. It's even worse on the Euro 5 models because of the ECU remapping for the emissions. But what I'm talking about is when you go from off throttle to on throttle, even if you go slowly and very carefully, you'll feel that little bit of a jerk. Now, we can't really eliminate it completely, but we can make it better. So my suspicions why it's happening: one, chain slack is out of line, or the chain is not tight enough, and two, the throttle alignment, or the wire for the throttle is also out of its tolerance, so the wire is too loose. So we'll be looking into these two things specifically in this video. I'll be showing you how to fix that, and yeah, hopefully it will be better. Alright, so if you have any kind of chain guide, remove it because you can't measure the chain slack properly with it on. What you need is an 8mm socket and a wrench. So as per the instructions, as you can see on the screen, the chain slack should be measured when the motorcycle is on the side stand with no weight on top, from the end of this chain, swing arm protector, the rubber thing, from here to the middle of the chain. So that length should be between 42 and 48 millimeters when you pull down on it. So with me right now, it's 5.5, so that's out of line. Now, the chain slack is a very debatable thing. If you check motocross bikes, they're flimsy as hell. The chain slack is very huge. If you check sports bikes, there's not a lot of chain slack at all. So when I asked my mechanic, he tuned the chain slack. So he set the chain slack to this amount that you see here, and according to him, this is the correct one. And according to him, what is stated in the owner's manual is too tight. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. I did study engineering, but I don't know what the correct spec is. I kind of trust the service manual, so we're going to tighten it back up to what the factory spec is and see how that works. So adjusting the chain slack is a very simple process. It is listed in the instructions manual. What you have to do is unbolt this very big bolt over here. I think it's 24mm size. I might be wrong here. This bolt is holding the whole rear wheel in place. Then you undo this very little bolt over here, which holds this screw in place. This screw is responsible for how far this little part is in here in this bracket. So the further this is to the right, the tighter the chain is going to be, and the closer it is to the left, the more slack the chain is going to have. So what we're going to do is move it there a little bit by turning the screw counterclockwise. Same thing on the other side. Once you're done with adjusting, just make sure that you made both same adjustments on both sides. So just push the wheel forward with your knee. Just measure the distance here. So it's 2.2 on this side for me, and 2.2 on the other. So that's good. Now we tighten all of these things back, put the bike back on the ground on the side stand, and check the slack again. So apologies for the bad lighting, but the sun set already. So the chain slack right now is, it's between 4.7 and 4.8, which is right within the spec. So when you sit on the bike, when the bike squats, the chain gets even tighter. So let's just leave it at the end of the spectrum, the X spectrum for now. So maybe just as a reference, if you can see it all, when you push it up, it should be just tight enough to touch this rubber thing at the top. This is how tight it should be. So not that it touches it easily, but I mean, as you can see, I can lift it up with 2 fingers and it touches this. So not that it's too loose, but yeah, if this helps. All right, now to the throttle free play adjustment. We just moved inside because it was getting too dark out for you to see. Just one thing to bear in mind: Yamaha Teneres come with a throttle by wire. That's different to electronic throttle. Electronic throttle pretty much eliminates all of the issues with jerkiness and so on, just because everything is ECU controlled. Yamaha decided to do it the other way, so with a wire, for reliability issues. I mean, for reliability purposes. So what does throttle by wire mean? So when you spin the throttle up there on the handlebar, it is connected straight to this very wire over here, which controls the throttle bodies. Throttle bodies are in here. They spin it, and they let more air in, and magic happens. As you can see, the wire over here has a lot of play in it, a lot of slack. And that is not good. It is out of spec. I mean, by turning the throttle, you can already see how much slack there is in it. According to Yamaha, the free play in the throttle grip should be 0.3 to 0.5 millimeters. I measured mine to be 0.7. You measure it by picking a point on the throttle grip, and then just see by how much it moves freely. Yeah, it's in the instructions manual. It's very simple. Now let me show you how to adjust this, how you make it a bit tighter. So adjusting this is fairly simple. What you undo is this very 10 millimeter nut over here. Once it's undone, just spin it all the way up till the end of its thread. Pull this unit down and spin the bottom nut several turns downwards. Not too much, just make small adjustments because a small adjustment can make a big difference. Spin the top nut all the way back down with the finger, and then tighten it back with the 10 millimeter wrench. And of course, before you do that, check the slack of the wire. Check the free play of the throttle. Yeah, this seems about right now. We're gonna measure it up top if the free play is correct, and that would be a job done. The torque spec of this bolt is 4.5 Newton meters. I don't have a torque wrench on myself, so I just do it by hand. Just don't over tighten it, not to strip the thread, because it's a small nut. All right, so that concludes the fiddling around part. Now let's go test drive it. Since it's dark out and it's cold, let's skip to the next morning. So here we are again in the middle of the night. It's been raining for the whole day, so that's what we get. So let's talk about the changes that have been done to the bike, so that we have achieved. The bike is a lot more drivable now. It's a lot smoother, it's a lot less jerky. The biggest difference that you notice is when going from off to on throttle, you get much less of the punch. So usually before, when I gave bike the throttle, it came with a bit of a delay, and when it came, it gave me a big push in the back. Now that is considerably decreased. So yeah, it just drives a lot nicer. So is the jerkiness completely removed? No, it's not. There's still a little bit of it. So as you can see, nevertheless, how fast you go on throttle, it's still there, but it's a lot better than it was before. The degree of how much of a change you're going to get, how much better the state of your bike is going to get, probably depends on how loose your chain was before. I think most of the credits for the improvement over here goes to the very chain, to decreasing the chain slack, and having the throttle play adjusted correctly just is a little cherry on top of the cake. So that concludes my thoughts for this video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Stay tuned for more content like this. Click the subscribe button down below. Have great Easter holidays, since Easter is on Monday. And yeah, see you later. Bye.